Hi children, I hope you are fine at home. In our earlier class, we learned a new topic from 10th standard second unit, wit and humor. So in the first part, the author uh, spoke about the characters Mrs. Slater, Henry Slater, Elizabeth Jordan and Ben Jordan, Victoria and Abel Merriweather and so on. When Mrs. Slater and her husband thought that Miss Abel Merriweather died in the morning, they sent a telegram to her sister. And meanwhile, they wanted to bring the bureau down from her father's room. A handsome bureau and a handsome clock. When they are going to bring the bureau down, Victoria, her daughter, asked, "Are you planning to pinch it?" When Victoria asked this question, Hindi was shocked because Victoria was a very smart girl, and then as soon as she asked her father, "Are you planning to pinch it?" then he was shocked and said, "No, my child. Grandpa gave it to your mother before he died." Then Victoria asked, "This morning?" Then he said, "Yes, this morning." Then Victoria said, "Oh, he was drunk this morning." Just then, Mrs. Slater appears carrying a handsome clock under her arm. And here we can see the picture of a clock. Then Mrs. Slater said, "I thought I would fetch this down as well." Then she put the clock on the mantelpiece and said, "Our clock is worth nothing and this always appealed to me." Then Victoria said, "That's Grandpa's clock." Then Mrs. Slater said, "Shh, be quiet. It's ours now. Come, Henry, lift your hand." Now, Mrs. Slater and Henry are going to bring the bureau down from her father's room. Now, so they're struggling to bring the bureau down. They stagger in with a pretty old-fashioned bureau containing a locked desk. They put it where the chest of drawers was and straighten the ornaments, etc. Just then, they heard a knock at the door and the knocking is repeated. And when the knock is repeated at the door, Victoria goes and opens the door. And then Victoria wishes in Ben and Mrs. Jordan. The latter is a stout, composite woman with an irritating air of being always right. She is wearing an outfit of new mourning. Ben is also in complete new mourning. He is rather a jolly little man, but at present trying to adapt himself to the regrettable occasion. Mr. Jordan sails into the room and solemnly goes straight to Mrs. Slater and kisses her. The men shake hands. So this is the formal greeting. Mainly in the European countries, whenever people meet after a long time, what they do? So ladies kiss each other and men shake hands. So this is the formal greeting. So now the author or the writer described the character of these two women, Ben and these two people, Mr. Ben and Mrs. Jordan. Mrs. Jordan is a stout and competent woman with an irritating air of being always right. And she is wearing an outfit of new mourning. Here, what is the meaning of mourning? Here, mourning means weeping and outfit means a set of clothes. So now what is the occasion for wearing a mourning dress? Because they all thought that their father, Mr. Abel Merriweather, died. So this is the regrettable occasion or a bad situation. And according to situation, Mr. Ben also is in complete new mourning. And what type of man he is? He is rather a little jolly man, always cracking jokes and laughing at others and so on. But at present, trying to adapt himself to the regrettable occasion. Here, what is the regrettable occasion? The death of Mr. Abel Merriweather. Then, and as soon as Mrs. Jordan and Mr. Ben enter into the room, Mrs. Ben goes straight into the room and seriously kisses her sister, and men shake hands. Then Mrs. Jordan said, "Well, Emilia, and so he has gone at last." Will anybody say like this? Here, Mrs. Jordan, the second daughter of Mr. Abel Merriweather, told her sister like this, "Well, Emilia, and so he has gone at last." So by this we can understand they are not happy with their father, or they are not pleased with their father. They always wanted to get rid of her father. Then Mrs. Slater said, as he has gone, "He was 72 fortnight last Sunday," and she snips back to tears. Then Ben sharply said, "Now, Emilia, you mustn't give away. We have all have we have all got to die sometime or the other." Then Mr. Ben said, chirpily means happily. See, can anybody be happy at a bad situation? No one can be happy because we all feel um, sad. So we all feel sad for the loss of our near and dear ones. But instead here, Mr. Ben said chirpily. Chirpily means happily. "Now, Emilia, you must not give away. We have all got to die sometime or the other." Then Mr. Jordan said, "And now perhaps you will tell us all about it." And Mr. Slater said, "Father had been merry this morning. He went out soon after breakfast to pay his insurance." So she said, "Father had been happy this morning. He went out soon after breakfast to pay his insurance." Then Ben said, "My word, it's a good thing he did." So by this we can understand that according to the Ben, here what is the good thing he did? Paying premium. So before going to die, he did a good thing. What is the good thing? Paying premium. Then Mr. Jordan, he was always thoughtful in that way. He was too honorable to have gone without paying his premium. So Mr. Jordan said, "Father is always careful about doing his things." So he, he was too honorable to have gone without paying his premium. So father had done a good thing. Here, what is the good thing he did? So before going to die, he paid the premium. So, and he was too good because father was very careful about doing even small things also. Then Henry said, "And when I came in, I found him undressed, sure enough, and snug in the bed." Now, Henry said, "When I came to the room, I found him undressed and sure enough, snug in the bed." So when I came inside, so was comfortably slept in the room, so without any movement. So he had a good death, he said. Then Mrs. Slater said, "And When we had finished dinner, I thought I would take up a bit of something on a tray. He was lying there for all the world as if he was asleep. So I put the tray down on the bureau. Correcting herself, she said, on the chest of drawers and went to wake him. He was quite cold. So here, here what is the thing that Mr. Henry and Mrs. Slater did before the arrival of Mrs. Jordan and her husband? So they brought the bureau down. So before their arrival, they brought the bureau down from her father's room. And while talking to her sister, Mrs. Slater forgot that she brought the bureau down and she said, see, when we had finished dinner, I thought I would take up a bit of something on a tray. He was lying there for all the world as if he was asleep. So I put the tray down on the bureau. So now she forgot that she brought the bureau down. So now she then immediately she remembered that she that she brought the bureau down from her father's room and correcting herself, then said on the chest of drawers and went to wake him up. And what did they do here? So before the arrival of Mrs. Jordan, her husband, Mr. Henry and Mrs. Slater had a whole chest of drawers. They put the whole chest of drawers or the box or containing table in her father's room and brought the bureau down. And she said, so when I took the breakfast or dinner to father, he was quite cold. Then they wiped their eyes and sit back to tears. Then Mrs. Slater, raising briskly at length in a business-like tone, said, well, will you go up and look at him now, or shall we have a tea? Mrs. Slater told her sister and her husband, well, will you go up and see the old man, or shall we have tea first? Now, now there are some new words in this. So now let us see what are those. Pinch. What is the meaning of pinch? Steal or rob. Fetch. Fetch meaning to go and bring. And mantelpiece. Mantelpiece means a shelf projecting from the wall over the fireplace. And appeal means make a serious and urgent request. Flushed, excited by success. Staggering, walk unsteadily. And straighten, adjusting or put something in its proper position. And regrettable occasion, a bad occasion. Usher in, lead someone in. Mourning, weeping. Outfit, a set of clothes. Complacent, very pleased. Adopt, change. Solemnly, seriously. So these are some of the difficult words that we see in this dialogues. Now, when Mrs. Slater asked her sister, well, will you go up and look at him now, or shall we have tea? Then Mrs. Jordan asked her husband Ben, what do you say, Ben? Shall you go and look at the old man, or shall you have tea first? Then Ben said, I am not particular. Here he mean was not particular, or they are not particular in going first go and see the dead old man or to have a tea. So he said, I am not particular. Then Mrs. Jordan surveying the table. Well then, if the kettle is ready, we may as well have tea first. So Mrs. Jordan observed the table. So and then said, if the kettle is ready, we may as well have the tea first. Then Mrs. Slater put the kettle on the fire and gets the tea ready. Particularly in the European countries, they will have a fireplace in the hall. Since all the European countries are very cold countries, in order to keep the room warm, they will have a fireplace in the hall or in the room. Then, so when they lit the fire, they put the kettle on the fire just to get the tea ready. Then Henry said, one thing we may as well decide now is the announcement in the newspaper. Now Henry said, so one thing we have to do, that is that we should give the announcement in the newspaper about the death of the old man. Then Mrs. Jordan said, I was thinking of that. What would you put? Then there was a pause. Mr. Jordan said, well, we'll think about it after tea. And then we will look through his bits of things and make a list of them. And there is all the furniture in his room. Then Mr. Jordan said, well, first let us have tea first, and then we will look through his bits of things and make a list of them, and there is all the furniture in his room. Then Henry said, there is no jewelry or valuables of the sort. Then Mrs. Jordan said, except his gold watch. He promised that to our Jimmy. When Henry said, there is no jewelry or any valuables in his room, then Mrs. Jordan said, of course, there is no any valuable things except his gold watch, and he promised that to our Jimmy. Here, who is Jimmy? Jimmy is the son of Mrs. Jordan. Mrs. Jordan and Ben. Here, Jimmy is hidden character. Then Mrs. Slater said, promised your Jimmy? I never heard of that. Then Mrs. Jordan said, oh, but he did, Emilia. When he was living with us, he was very fond of Jimmy. Then Mrs. Jordan said, oh, Emilia, he promised to give the gold was to Jimmy because he was very fond of Jimmy. He gave the promise where he was living with us. Then Mrs. Slater said, well, I don't know. Then Ben said, anyhow, there is his insurance money. Have you got the receipt for the premium he paid this morning? Then Ben asked, anyway, there are no valuables. But so far, he had been paying his premium. Now, have you got the receipt for all the premium he paid till this morning? Then Mrs. Slater said, I have not seen it. Then Victoria comes up from the sofa and comes behind the table. The Victoria said, Mother, I don't think Grandpa went to pay his premium this morning. So Victoria is a very clever girl and she told her mother, Mother, I don't think Grandpa went out to pay his premium this morning. Then Miss Slater said, he went out. Then Victoria said, yes, he went out, but he did not go to the town. He did not go into the town. He met old Mr. Tattersall down the street, and there they went off past St. Philip's Church. So then Victoria said, yes, ma, Grandpa went out this morning, but he did not go to the premium. He did not go to the town to pay the premium. He went to meet his old friend Mr. Tattersall down the street, and from there they both went to St. Philip's Church. Ben, do you think he hasn't paid it, or was it overdue? Then Mrs. Slater said, I should think it was overdue. Then Mrs. Jordan said, something tells me he hasn't paid it. Then Mrs. Jordan also sensed that her father did not pay the premium. Then Mrs. Jordan's husband Ben scolded Mr. Abel Merriweather, the drunken old beggar, for not paying the premium. See, this is how they are respecting the people. They are not giving any due respect to the old people. So, here, for not paying the premium, Ben scolded him, the drunken old beggar. Then, Mrs. Jordan says, he has done it on purpose just to annoy us. Then, Mrs. Jordan said, Father did not pay the premium on purpose just to make us angry. Then Mr. Slater said, after all I have done for him and having to put up with him in the house all these 3 years, and it's nothing sort of swindling. Then Mr. Slater said, Father did it on purpose. After all I have done for him, having to put up with him in the house these 3 years. It's nothing sort of swindling. So, I have been looking after father for all these 3 years. But what he did, he just cheated us. Instead, your father has cheated us by not paying the premium. Then Mrs. Jordan said, I had put up with him for 5 years. Then Mrs. Jordan said, I managed him or I fed him for 5 years. Then Mrs. Jordan said, and you are trying to turn him over to us all the time. So then Mrs. Slater said, so every time you are sending him to us to look after. Then Henry said, but we don't know for certain that he has not paid the premium. Then Henry said, we don't know the reason why he did not pay the premium. Then Henry, but we don't know for certain that he hasn't paid the premium. Then Mr. Slater, Victoria, then Mrs. Slater tells her daughter, Victoria, run upstairs and fetch the bunch of keys that's on your grandpa's dressing table. Then here, Mrs. Slater orders or commands her daughter Victoria to go to her grandfather's room and bring the bunch of keys that is on the grandpa's dressing table. So now, they all thought that Mr. Abel Merriweather died in the room. Now, this little girl gets frightened to go to her grandfather's room and says timidly, in grandpa's room? Miss Slater, yes. Victoria, I don't like to. Here, Victoria said, I don't like to go to grandpa's room. Here, why didn't she want to go to grandpa's room because they all thought Mr. Abel Merriweather died. So this little girl gets frightened to go to her grandfather's room. Then Mrs. Ladd says, don't talk so silly. There is no one, there is, there is no one can hurt you. Then Victoria goes out reluctantly. You will see if he has locked the receipt up in the bureau. The, Mrs. Ladd said, don't talk so silly. There is no one can hurt you. You will see if he has locked the receipt up in the bureau. Now Ben. Now in where in this thing he raises an then he raises and examines it. Here is the bureau. Now Mr. Ben gets up and looks at the bureau and then examines the bureau. And Mrs. Jordan also goes and looks at the bureau. And then Mrs. Jordan asks, where did you pick that up, Emilia? It's a new since last I was here. Now Mrs. Jordan asks his sister, where did you pick it up, Emilia? It's a new thing since last I was here. Then both Mr. Ben and Mrs. Jordan examines the bureau very closely. Then Mrs. Slater said, oh, Henry picked it up one day. Then Mrs. Slater said, Henry bought it one day. Then Victoria returns very scared and closes the door after her. So Victoria, when her mother, Mrs. Slater, told her daughter to go to Mr. Abel Merriweather's room and bring the bunch of keys, she got up reluctantly and went to her grandpa's room. And she returns very scared. The Victoria said, Mother, mother. The Mrs. Slater said, what is it, child? Then Victoria said, Grandpa is getting up. Ben said, what? When Victoria said, Grandpa is getting up, they were surprised. And Ben asked, what? Then Mr. Slater said, what do you say? Then Victoria said, Grandpa is getting up. Then Mrs. Jordan says, the child is crazy. Because till now they thought that Mr. Abel Merriweather died. But when Victoria goes to Mr. Abel Merriweather's room to bring the bunch of keys, she noticed Mr. Abel Merriweather just moving in the bed. Then Victoria said, Grandpa is getting up. Then Mrs. Jordan said, child is crazy. Then Mrs. Slater said, don't talk so silly. Don't you know your grandfather is dead? Then Victoria said, no, he's getting up. I saw him. Then they are transfixed with amazement. And Victoria clings to her mother, Mrs. Slater. Just then, they heard some noise. Suddenly, Ben said, listen. Now, in this picture, we can see here Mr. Abel Merriweather coming down the stairs, and here Victoria, a smart girl, showing her grandfather, and Mrs. Slater and her husband, again Ben and his wife, looking with amazement, or they are all shocked to see Mr. Abel Merriweather coming down the stairs. Now, they looked at the door. A slight chuckling is heard from upstairs. The door opens, revealing an old man clad in a faded but gay dressing gown. He is in his stocking feet. Although over 70, he is vigorous and well colored. His bright, malicious eyes twinkle under his heavy, reddish gray eyebrows. He is obviously either the old man, Abel Merriweather, or else his ghost. So when they see the old man, they are all surprised. Now let us see all the glossary in this. First, thoughtful. What is the meaning of thoughtful? Quiet and serious. Then honorable, good and deserved. Snug, warm and comfortable. Premium, a sum of money that you pay. That you pay regularly to an insurance company. Briskly, quickly, overdue, have not been paid, swindling, cheating, reluctantly, unwillingly, cling, hold to someone tightly, transfixed, become motionless in fear, chuckling, laughing quietly, clad in, dressed in, stockinged, wearing socks but no shoes, vigorous, strong, malicious, harmful, obviously, easily noticed or seen or recognized. Now let us see the home task or the create expression. So the question is, the door opens, revealing an old man clad in a faded but gay dressing gown, and he is Mr. Abel Merriweather. When when the when all the characters or when all the people saw Mr. Abel Merriweather coming down the stairs, what were their feelings and what type of conversation they might have had? Now, write a possible conversation between Abel and his daughters when they saw him coming down the stairs. So this is the question. Here the question is once again, write a possible conversation between Abel Merriweather and his daughters.